I know a lot of you know dollars.
Yeah.
But dollars go. It's so dark. I am very, very slow to anger. I'm slow to anger in the way that it will anger another person. I went to host an event. I'm going to my car. No fans will now be running.
Yes.
Someone just dragged, but I thought maybe the person want to
pictures or something.
He hold my two-ring follow the person. He holds my neck on the chain. Hey, my dad said,
guys, today we're joined by a superstar who's not just a trailblazing content creator, but also a fashion icon, model, TV host, shaking up the entertainment industry. From a viral skit to a fashion brand, she is redefining the game. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as I welcome Bukumi Adeagai Lori, aka Kiekie.
Welcome to church.
Makinde Show, we do it the nicest. Yeah, you get entertainment at its finest.
K to the I to the Kiekie, K to the I to the Kiekie, K to the I baby. Okay, so let me adjust.
Let's compose.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for coming to my show.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never said this to you personally, so I feel like this is the right time to say it. Kiekie, I respect you so much, and I respect your craft. You know, there's something about multi-talented people. It amazes me how you guys balance all the talents that you have. Kiekie, you act, you dance, you sing, you do comedy, you do content creation, you do... Yo, what in this life do you not do?
I don't steal. I don't kill.
So, I mean, I want to tell you, I respect you so much and I respect your craft. Thank you for honoring me on the Tobi Makinde Show.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
How's your journey been, you know, in this entertainment industry? Because I know that it's not been easy, you know, and you didn't just find yourself here all of a sudden. So run us through it. How has it been for you?
I feel like my story is quite unique because I'm one of those that I sometimes call myself a late boomer because it literally took me 7 years to hit the spotlight. So I started creating content in 2013 and I didn't hit the spotlight until 2020. Now that's 7 years.
Oh,
yes. So that's 7 years of me constantly doing what I love, me funding what I love with the other jobs that I was doing. So for those that had known me before I became popular as a content creator, they will know that I used to be a stylist. I would style, see me, I make clothes.
So sorry to cut you short there. The first time I saw you and I knew who Kiekie was, I knew you as Simi's stylist.
Yes.
I used to see you on her videos because I follow Simi. I'm a fan, you know, and I just knew you as a stylist. And then later I saw you as a content creator, and in my head I'm like, what is this place since Davido? What did happen?
How did they intertwine? And meanwhile, all those times I was styling Simi, I was already creating Style It Yourself with Kiekie, celebrity closet, something I'd featured Jimmy Jazz, Messi Igbe at the time. So I'd created a lot of content that were on YouTube. But it's only me, my brother, my sister that watch it in that period. In fact, if you go to YouTube that time and I have 5 views, I watch it 2 times. My sister watched 2 times. My brother watched it. So pretty much how it started for me. But I would tell you, the reason I said my story is unique is because, of course, I'm not the only late boomer in this life. I mean, and that's why when I listen to the types of Taraji, who also it didn't happen for her until she was in her 40s, I would tell you that there's something with that. And then there's a way God just kind of compliments you for that. So for me, it happened for me in 2020. And the moment it happened till now, it has been boom, 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 boom. So the moment I hit the spotlight, it just continued like that.
Yeah.
So, and my first point, I think my first viral content is going to be the Fashion Shock show. Okay. And that started in 2018. So I was already known. I was getting some kind of influencing gig, and it was starting out real nice for me. But you also know that I was on TV.
Yes.
So that was how I built myself as a host, both TV and event host. So the bigger the name got, the more gigs I was getting for red carpet events, to host events, whatnot. But when that lockdown just happened, it felt like God locked people at home because of me. But he was in lockdown, all of you will watch this girl, and it's crazy. And I was just saying before we started rolling, I was saying to the crew that it's incredible how people just want to hear me speak. Like when I'm hosting a concert, it's a 5,000 capacity. Once I get on, say, hello, sweetie. And I'll be thinking in my mind, like, Kiekie most so.
I know, right?
It's not just one single word. And it's the same thing when I'm influencing. People just want to hear me speak. Oh, that's the way she talks, the way she. And what I will always say to people is that there will be people who will not like how you are doing what you're doing.
Yeah, of course.
You need to be able to shut them out and focus on the bigger audience, the louder voice. So the journey has been incredible, but outside of everything and inside of everything safe. I think the God factor is a very major factor.
Yeah, of course.
It is a very, very major factor because I felt like I suffered in the content and television space. And then when it eventually happened, God now topped it for me with film. I didn't set out to be an actor. Yeah. I just started having, I've had the privilege of working with the biggest producers and directors in the industry. And they always send me really great scripts. And as most people already know, as of now, I'm going to be in the new Anikulapo installment. There's another Netflix original that we've shot. So I'm going to be in that, And I'm like, what is going on? And it's a thing, and all these things, I'm doing it afraid. Like, let's just do it. There was a particular film that I featured in. It's not out yet. It's going to the cinemas. And there was this particular scene that I was thinking in my head that, okay, how are we going to do this scene? I did it regardless, afraid. And maybe the director said, cut, plus crew, plus pastor, but everybody just started clapping and shouting. And I was like, okay, I'm killing it. So it's incredible how God wants you to go through a certain part in your journey, just so that He's able to equip you for the next journey. So it might look like suffer right now, but that suffer is necessary because the straight is not laughing. You gotta, you have to be able to put everything together and be ready when that time comes. So pretty much.
So I tell people all the time that sometimes you see all these celebrities or actors or content creators that you see, they get nervous sometimes.
Of course.
They get goose pimples, butterflies in belly sometimes, but they don't understand, especially when you are testing new waters. For instance, I have butterflies in my belly because I'm doing the Tobi Makinde show. It's a new thing for me. Yeah, do you understand? But I'm doing it regardless.
Of course.
So I actually can relate to what you just said. So now, I want to commend you for your consistency. If there's anything else that I know about is your consistency. You talked about, the big break in 2020, and since then till now, you've been consistent. And the reason why I'm hammering on this is we see content creators that sometimes they arrive and then they leave the space because they believe that I have the audience already. And then, but you, almost every day I will see something about Kiekie. I will see something, content creation, whatever, fashion, everything, dance, everything. I will see something about Kiekie on my timeline, and that's something I must commend you for.
Thank you very much.
So I want to ask, what is your greatest achievement as of now? What would you say is your greatest achievement? Because you've done so many things, so many good things for yourself.
My greatest achievement, that's quite difficult. And I'll tell you why I say so. Because, my head is very big. Like where my head space is at is very big. And in as much as I'm super grateful for everything that I've done so far, but I don't think I've achieved something that I can call greatest yet. I've achieved a couple of great things. I've had a couple of highlights in my career. For example, when Forbes reached out in 2023 to spotlight me, but when they even called me, I thought maybe it was scam. I didn't carry the phone again until Penza called and said, Kiekie, Forbes is trying to reach us. Oh, is there I didn't know that. I did an interview. The magazine came out, the progression was out, and I was reading it, and I was like, top content creator in Africa. Oh, wow, nice. But I will tell you that what is close to biggest for me, AMVCA was also very great. Because I didn't think that I would be climbing the AMVCA stage as a content creator. We would all think that it's for film and television, you know? And that's the biggest platform for film and television in Africa.
That's our Oscars.
Do you see, when the day I won that award, the people that I was in the primary school, they come to wish me congrats. My church group, my friends group, like it was like my birthday times 2, because it was on my birthday that I get that kind of traffic. It was crazy, it was wild. But another thing that I would say I've done that is close to a great achievement is going to be Kiekie Unscripted experience. And I'll tell you why. From the beginning, I've always been that person that I like to do, I'm very innovative, so I like to do new things. Now the challenge with that is I don't have a template I'm looking at, but I'm just creating it regardless. I mean, I created a show in Ibadan, we called it the 90s Millennium. So I brought Salawa, Benny, Reminis, YC, Arnold Shola, The Sun, and then all of them performed live on stage. It was a beautiful experience, it was nice. So when we Kiekie Unscripted experience, I was saying to myself that, nobody has done talent show that they put game show inside. And nobody has done game show, they put talent show inside. How do we infuse these two elements together? So it took series of trying to explain to the production team that, and everybody says, but we can't just finish playing game. Then people will not start singing. But I even said I wanted to have an element of the Kiekie Unscripted show before it became an experience, used to be gisting about real day experiences.
I remember you mentioned
that format. So I was like, you know what? We are still going to put that element inside. The director was like, how do we merge all of these things together now? I'm unable to share this in this particular interview, but in a couple of weeks, we are all going to get the very fantastic news. But now the show is getting a collaboration I didn't see coming. Because people in the bigger space, they're like, we have been trying to do this thing. We could not do it. As a matter of fact, last year we tried this format. It didn't format. But now you shot it. Kiekie Unscripted Experience show is the only show that has that amount of talent in it.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I flew in a creator from Ghana, Endurance, flew in a Ziad from Kenya. People in the industry are saying, we don't know how you did it, but you did it. And now we're having crazy conversations. You know, and even though I did it afraid, and when we published the show, it wasn't moving as I wanted it to move. And I was like, you know that Yoruba proverb that when you see eyes on the floor, you not be looking for eyes that is not on the floor. I said, what led me to this content? But as I said, the God factor is very important. And I said to God, God, this content is not going the way I want it to go. But you gave me the go ahead to do this content. It means that you now have plan for this content. And it's crazy because I got an invite to Forbes, Leading Women Summit in South Africa. And when I go there, I'm realizing that you have done, and the woman said to me, you've done a global content, which is the Kiekie Unscripted experience. And I wanted to fall down.
Wow.
Because this person saying this to me is a top publicist, a publicist in Forbes. And I was like I was shaking. So
you're actually saying, recognizing.
Yeah, and then more than 10 people said to me, the show, the premiere, oh my God, everybody's blown away with the PR of the show. Like, oh my God, it's crazy. Then after that, I got an email to say, oh, we see your show, we're doing this thing in London, we want you to come and be a part of it. Then I'm going to be in London next month for that. So that's why I said the God factor is important. And as a creative, it's you know, the talent space is a spiritual space, whether you like it or not, because talent is, as a talented person or as a person of talent, you're directly connected to God. Actually. Because it's him that have our manual. So back to you now. I don't necessarily feel like I've done something that I would say, this is my greatest achievement, but I think Unscripted will be my coolest achievement yet.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us how your upbringing in Ibadan has influenced your creative journey, because you know a lot of times talented people say that they have different influences, but usually there's always that background. So so how has that upbringing in Ibadan has it influenced your creative journey?
Let me tell you one very, very interesting thing. There was this skit I shot with Mercy Johnson, Taylor. and I broke bottle in that skit. Immediately my father saw that skit. He called me. He said, like, how did you learn to do that? Now, all my life, I've gone to private schools all my life. From my secondary school to my university, of course, I was in Bowen University. Well. Yeah. I was in campus environments. And immediately after Bowen, I came to Lagos for my NYC. Immediately after that, I went to London. I went to 2 schools in London. I was there for over 2 years. Nothing but doing it's supposed to influence because I don't have exposure to anything. Yeah. But everything that I know that I do is from Yoruba film. Everything.
Can you imagine?
Everything that I learned. How to be a thug, how to do proverbs. I've learned, and then my grandma lived with me for some time. Okay. All these proverb things that I do that cannot be for father and be for mother. That demarcation. I learned all these proverbs in Yoruba film. It's why I always say to Yoruba film producers that what you guys are sitting on is gold mine. I don't want the civilization to take it away. Because I'm watching Yoruba film now, 60% of it is English. I'm like, this.
It's not what it used to be.
Yeah, you're shaping the future with this industry. You've shaped me, and I'm sure that a lot of people can also say the same thing for themselves. Yes. See that I know Yoruba. When I started TV, I started with Goldmine. At the time, I was producing content for On TV, Silverbird, and whatnot. The first day, I spoke Yoruba in my office, unknown to me. I didn't even realize that I wasn't speaking as much Yoruba. But the person next to me just said, Kiekie, did you just speak Yoruba now? Because I joined Goldmine maybe like a year after I got back from London. Okay. So I still had, there was a little sophisticated, little spray.
Spray,
My brother, the chairman came from his office downstairs and said, I'm going to Yoruba talking. And I was like, Yoruba. That is how much of Yoruba I didn't used to speak at some point in my life. Yeah. So growing up in Ibadan did not necessarily
affect your creative journey.
Yes, if I'm being honest with you, because I didn't have any experience in the city, because I had always lived in the English part of the city. Let me because I grew up from when I lived, I was Nigerian all through my life. So yes, Yoruba film.
Thank you for sharing this with me.
I was last school. Yeah. Last school doctor.
Thank you for sharing this with me because there was a time I was having a conversation with a fellow content creator, and I was saying to the person that where does Kiekie get all these slangs from? Where does she get it from? That one now told me that Ibadan is in them, blah blah blah. So in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I
no, but to be honest, by default, this smooth talking thing is an Ibadan thing.
Yeah,
you know this that we need to go home to bring.
Yeah, actually,
the enemy sharp, based off.
You have the clap back.
There's response for everything. Size everybody, regardless of your age, but our new bring game. Do get
Okay, so I know you talked a little about it, but I want you to, shed more light. How was your transitioning from being a TV host to, content creation? How was it like? Yeah.
So for me, it was a thing of, I was on TV and I really loved the content I was doing because I love fashion a lot. I own a clothing line. I've gone to fashion school. I know everything about fashion. I'm a fashionista myself. So, but I didn't necessarily like the channel that I was on.
What channel was it?
It was when I was still with Goldmine.
Okay.
So I wanted to do more, but there was a bit of restrictions and I didn't necessarily like that. Okay. So I left the channel. Then I joined Spice TV. On Spice, I liked the channel, but I didn't like the content I was producing on the channel. So I said to myself, if I don't like, before I didn't like. Was it
subject to your choice or the channel's choice?
The channel's choice. They wanted me to do Spice Destination. Okay. And I wanted a fashion content. But they already had other people producing other fashion content. And I'm like, you know what? I will leave this place and go and produce my thing. So by myself, I started producing the Fashion Shock Show. And then what channel do I take this to? YouTube. So pretty much that was how I started creating content for my YouTube. But before that time, I would do DIYs, I would do Get Ready With Me. But that was the first transition. And everybody begins to say, so the Fashion Shock Show was the first content that we had seen in Nigeria that had a full infusion of comedy and fashion. Somebody's like, this girl is funny. So it was that comic side that the skit makers saw in me that started, bringing them to me for collaborations. So Macaroni was the first person that ever called me for a collaboration. And I was not even certain I was going to do it. It was later that year. I think it was 2020. But I think it was that 2020 or was it 2021? I don't remember it. And I'm like, I'm not doing skits. He said, come and do it. I said, okay, no problem. Let me just do it. And then I did, and the content just went boom. Boom. And I'm like... And after that, Dollars had called for a restaurant, Eden Victor had called for a Mommy's Boy content with Temi's son. Okay. And then we had done that and it went crazily viral. Like, who is this girl? Who is this girl? Who is this girl? And then Dollars called for another content, girlfriend content, and we did it and it was like, and everybody started bombarding me. You need to do your own skits. This girl, her lambas, her wordplay, this. I said, okay. Since people say I should do, let me do it. And then I opened, I did my first skit and I published it and it was crazy. Wow. And then I started having continuous collaborations with Dollars, continuous collaboration. And then Shaggi called me for Kiekie and Dr. Shaggi.
I remember that.
And that happened. I say this all the time. That happened. He posted the first episode of that on his YouTube channel. Tobi, in like a week, my channel got about 200,000 subscribers.
How did that feel like?
It was insane. It was impossible. Like anybody that knows YouTube knows that YouTube
in a week.
YouTube is
is
gear in a week. And everybody was like, and in the comment section was, who is this girl? Who is this person? Wow, is this? I said, I know what mo Yahweh to buy. I bet you what we need let's go there. And that was how I fully transitioned into content making, like into comedy content making, because the content that I've been doing since 2013
it's still content creation.
Is passion. And it's the enlightenment I try to do. I try to give people with AMBCs when they nominate me, say, how can this one be Baba? They say
content.
Digital content. They don't say comedy.
They didn't say comedy.
Yes, comedy is just there's also like film. It's just a genre of content, so to say. So that was how I transitioned fully.
Mad.
Yeah. Tobi Makinde Show, we do it the nicest. Yeah, you get entertainment at its finest.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the game segment of the Tobi Makinde Show.
That's right.
Yes. We have one small game for you here. It's called Speed Round.
Okay.
How you doing?
Okay.
So the rules of the game, you have to answer. You have 5 seconds to answer the questions. That's it.
Okay.
5 seconds.
Okay, let me try it.
Me, I can't hesitate. So you must not hesitate. Me, I can hesitate to ask questions because I have to think.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have just 5 seconds to answer.
Okay.
Name 3 things that are red.
My bag, my shoes, and my kidney.
Say 3 countries from Europe.
Spain, Italy, Portugal.
Say 3 countries from North Africa.
I don't even know South Africa. We are wicked. I don't know.
Another chance. Let's go again. List 3 things you do before you go to bed.
Charge my phone, shower, brush my teeth.
Okay. How many things do you have in your bag right now?
About 4.
What are they?
My brush, my lip gloss, money, tissue.
Gaggle.
I'm concentrating.
Name 5 characters from Housemaids.
Kiekie, Wumi, Mercy Johnson.
Yeah!
I hate you so much!
I knew that you would think of that.
Yes!
I took you back there. But thank you so much. You tried. You tried.
Please.
Makinde Show, we do it the nicest. Yeah, you get entertainment at its finest.
Please run us through your creative process, because I see some things on your page and I'm like, how did Kiekie think about it? Like, what the hell is this? There was one you did where you wrote I've forgotten. I've forgotten this content. There was a word you were trying to.
Was it on the floor?
You wrote it on the floor.
Yeah, a mouth odor.
Mouth odor.
What am I doing? I am working on it. Body odor. What am I doing? I'm working on it. Work on your own too, dear. Work on your own.
You know, how do you come about it? I remember having a meeting with you one time in the office.
Yes.
Kiekie, imagine. Guys, let me report Kiekie to you. I was having a meeting with Kiekie and she said, okay, please guys, give me a few minutes. I want to quickly, I'm coming. I want to go and do something, you know. So she went into the house. Lo and behold, she came back. I mean, she spent quite some time. She came back. You know, I just felt like she just went in to do a thing or two. She came back and I just went on Instagram, normal. The same outfit, literally, she had gone to go and quickly create the content. And she had dropped it before she came back on set. And I'm like, wait, because we were having a serious conversation. Was it during the conversation that the idea popped? And, you know, it just occurred to you that I have to shoot this now? Or run us through your creative process. How do you just come about these crazy ideas?
You see, for me, every single second counts when it comes to content. And content, like I always say, it has a as-the-hot effect.
As-the-hot, actually.
So as-the-hot for your brain affects your delivery. When it's buying in your head right now and you do it right now, it connects more. It's why I don't like to give it time. So as I'm like I slept like this and I said the next morning I said, let me do that estate security video now. I called Rita before we left housemaid set that day. I said, Rita, please, help me ask your costume. I need security estate. So I carried the uniform from that set. And I told my PA, I said, oh my God, we've been shooting for so long. I'm going to rest. I'm going to sleep.
To rest, of course.
I just said, Ura, let's go to next week. Let's go and shoot. She was like, Mama, really? I said, let's rough it. I know that particular content, I shot it, I edited it myself. Wow. And that's why I say to a lot of young creators, it's not every time you be carrying big money, I'm going to be giving them big talk. You're going to be giving dope views. As a content creator, you work on a platform that does not sleep. You cannot afford to sleep. And like I said, content has the hot factor.
Effect.
You now first of all shoot it, you now be waiting for a person that edits it, who is already editing 2 or 3 things before you call them. They also have things they're doing themselves. You understand? But for me, it's always a thing of, I catch the idea, I shoot the content. I am very, very attentive to my immediate environment. And I'm very attentive to people's behavioral pattern. So you see my POVs, how different people pray, how different people do this.
Crazy.
Yes, so, and because I know that I have my three major selling points is I'm very spontaneous, my wordplay is second to none, and I'm very dramatic. Now that dramatic, they help that my imitation. If I spend 2 days with somebody, I can begin to behave like that person. You know, so my process is, and then for me, I don't compromise. I want to shoot a security estate content. I must wear the uniform. The scenarios must be right. If I'm going to do how different people behave during baptism, we have to do it in the water. It needs to be very realistic. It needs to be very relatable, and it needs to connect. Because I feel like at the end of the day, the center point of every content is relatability and connection, and you know, the audience ability to process it. So I look at my content from the angle of person that wants to watch it. I shot a few contents that I never posted. When I watch it, no matter what anybody tell me in this life, if I watch my content and I don't laugh, it's not funny. So that's why if I laugh and I post it and it doesn't have as much engagement as I want, I'm convinced in my spirit that the people didn't get it, but it's funny.
But it's funny.
Because I know that I could be, my approach, especially when it comes to wordplay, people don't usually get it when it's not as straightforward as possible. So if you miss it, it's fine. But I'm convinced within my spirit that the content slap. Now you know come slap.
Now you know follow.
Now you know come slap join up.
Okay, so there's a video I want you to see.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to say something now, but no, I'll wait till you see the video and then I'll say what else.
What was that twerking there?
No.
The next time you hear from this girl, I'm going to be standing on a bigger stage in front of a bigger audience, holding the heaviest plaques of awards across the continent, the world at large. My name is Kiekie. I'm a content creator, event and TV host, a brand influencer, an actress. I'm a Nigerian, and most importantly, I am proud to be an African woman.
Was I own speech.
No.
You see, when I watched that video, I was really inspired, like, and I learned so much from that speech. You are what you call yourself. I learned that you are what you call yourself.
That's right.
When you call yourself something, you just automatically
become that thing.
Become that thing, especially when you work towards it. So I was really, really inspired by by that speech. Now my question to you is, how did it feel addressing that audience and saying all the things you said? Because I don't think that was scripted. I think you were saying it from a genuine point of view, like from the bottom of your heart, and I could connect with it. When you talked about grace to grass, there's some parts of my story that feels like that personally. So I could connect. So how was it like addressing those people? What was it?
You see, as a host, I've had the privilege of standing in front of thousands of audience.
Yeah.
All these concerts, Wizkid on the beach, Davido's Timeless concert, thousands of people. So standing in front of an audience is not a fact. When I don't even get butterflies for hosting anymore. I just say that, But this one was different, and I'll tell you why. Because it was Forbes Africa, and every somebody in that room is a somebody. They told us to network, and then as you're trying to network, you'll be hearing, my name is something, I'm the producer of Sony, I'm the director at Paramount, I'm the deed of this, I'm the everybody go do day here. So first of all, I was already humbled by being invited by Forbes to come and do that speech. I was wondering, I asked myself, am I really that achieved? I'm clearly that achieved. If not, they will not fly me all the way from Nigeria to South Africa for that. I also realized how big that platform is, because the event was streaming live on the biggest network in South Africa. So anybody in Africa would have been able to watch that. So in that very moment, it became important for me to speak to somebody. So in as much as I was on that stage and I was speaking in front of hundreds of people, I channeled my speech to that one person that I would connect to. And it's crazy how I had more than 10 people come to me after my speech to say, you were speaking to me. That was really amazing, because I left TV, and while I was on TV, I was already getting all these hosting gigs, red carpet gigs and all that. My brother, by the time that I left TV, nobody do call me again. My life now become like Nokia that the battery have died. It didn't ring. Nobody, all the events that I would usually be the one to host the red carpet, they have do it, they didn't come. All the program that I would host the event, they didn't. I do rich fish. I hosted the Mr. Nigeria Intercontinental or something like that. All these big pageantry and all that. They didn't call me. All these city people, them. They didn't. Nobody called me. Then at the time when I was on TV and I was hosting and doing all of that stuff, I'll wear my stuffs, my clothing line. From there, I would get clients that will come and make clothes. Because I didn't have program that I'm hosting, and they didn't invite me to events. Nobody come and sew gun. I was in my Tobi, see, some people may know I'm from a comfortable home, but I didn't want to go back home. I didn't want to go to my daddy and say, Daddy, I need money. Mommy, come and give money. I didn't want to do that. I stayed in my house in Magodo with my staff at the time for over 1 week. We did a chop indomie and egg. Like there was, see, it's so bad. No, normally when you want to cook indomie, and then you put pepper, you put sardines, spice it up with boiled egg. Ele will cook one indomie, one egg that we went to buy by trekking down the road to buy and come back. In fact, the only reason I could fuel my car at the time is because my parents are selling fuel. So I'll say I want to go and greet them at home. It's a lie. So I'll drive to Ibadan, full my tank, then come back to Lagos. And I was living in Magodo. Magodo to Ibadan was like 1 hour drive. And that's it. It was crazy. Fundamentally, I did not want to go back home to say, and then, Mine was quite interesting because backup day. And that's why I would always regard a Davido, a copy, a lot.
Yes.
It's crazy when there's backup, but you are still hustling.
You decide to hustle.
Because there will be moments you tell yourself that, oh, look, gem delay, go pay me. Because there's MD that I can chop. The MD that they'll be able to carry my bag every day. They'll be telling me, welcome, ma.
Yeah.
And we have office. My office, we have secretary's office. It's not that way. So there was that. But I wanted more for myself. My mom is such a huge role model for me. Do you know what it means for a woman to run a chain of filling stations? A woman, that means she's managing multiple staff.
And they'll step on your...
Do you know the meaning of... just imagine your gate man times 100. Do you understand? Yeah. And my dad on the other side, on the other end too, they're running this business. I'm seeing that if they can do it, my mommy didn't inherit one liter of petrol from my father. Likewise, my dad. So I'm asking myself, what is the reason
why you depend on them?
And by this time, they have been graceful enough to buy me the cameras that I needed at the time, the lighting. I said, okay, now let me, just like you, and I said, let me even do content. I called it fashion something, then Papa, I Push Looks at the time. I had all the top Lagos beauty people on the show. We record the show. Yeah. The cameraman that recorded the show, he told me that he's the cameraman that I've been doing the work since. When he bring the show for me, the show didn't have sound. I say, where is the sound of this show? He said, he forgot to. We are supposed to have one mic. So I shot a whole season of the show without mic. Bro, without mic. Jesus! The way you have brought me as guest now, I brought all the top beauty people in the industry at the time to my studio in Magodo to shoot.
And they didn't wear mic.
And there was no mic.
Director, we have mic, right? Well, because I cannot call Kiekie to come back.
I was like, what? So all of that had happened in my life. So I'm so grateful to God that these things happen. So now me when they learn sound, the importance of sound. Now me when they learn sound equipment. So that's why as a DOP or as an editor, you cannot bullshit me. You cannot come and tell me, you know the lens, baba, you don't need that lens to get out. Don't tell me what's not. It is very important. Yeah. And I also learned that from my parents' business because my parents started selling fuel by selling inside gallons. Then they transitioned to selling kerosene inside tank. There was a time that my mom had kerosene tank in at least 15 markets in Ibadan. From Bodija to Diakwe to J, everywhere. Do you understand? Yeah. Then they transitioned to building petrol stations. Then transitioned to selling in bulk. So I've learned from a very early stage in my life that in life, really, if you must grow anything, you need to build from scratch. Yeah. The prettiest mansions don't be from foundation. You just have to build from scratch. So growing up in comfort, in my house, once you graduate, you have minimum of 2-1. They tear you brand new car, standard. If you don't have 2-1, you buy it to collect a combo. You know, from when I was a teenager, we go to London for summer. Every day in school, you're tearing tag. From 200 level, best dress, young. Do you understand? Yeah. I now come to a place where I'm missing one indomie and one egg. I didn't want to go back home. I'm like, why? I'm like, this is what I want to be. And my parents from the jump. I mean, I was in London School of Business and Finance. I went to London College of Fashion. My school fees in LCF is almost times 2 of my master's school fees. What else do I want? So I feel like as parents,
you've done enough.
They have done enough. And in this 2018, I was 28. And at 28, I will still go back home. I will hate that so much. So I just told myself that if you cannot navigate life at 28, then forget it. You are not ready. In that 2018, I needed to embrace that moment. I needed to feel what it was going to do to me, and I needed to learn from it. Because like, my mom has a very common saying. She would say, who is your teacher? Ìyá gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ tí ìyá bá jẹ́ wàá gbọ́n ìnáwó tó yẹ pé Because is your personal experience, you won't forget. But you have to jam mom see or the experiences that your parents had.
You won't really feel
You
it.
cannot.
Yeah.
Wetin concern me concern my papa dey trek from house to go school. Wetin concern me concern dey trek.
Yeah, I no trek.
I didn't trek. One being you should have went to meet family that they are trekking. Good luck to you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that 2018 was a crazy year. And it was in that moment I said to myself that, okay, Kiekie, you don't like your content in this channel. You left there. You don't like this channel. You left there. What do you want? I said, okay, I want to create a fashion content. I've always been a very hilarious person. My friends tell me this all the time. In uni or in secondary school, I've always been hilarious. In secondary school, I collect main girl award. That's to tell you how much of following I naturally would have. I said, okay, you know what? Let's do the fashion shock show. Talk about critique fashion but make it fun. And then I started. And then it was good. I started. Do you know that the year my YouTube blew, which was in 2021, all the content I've been creating from the past, everything blew together. The money I made in the first year that my YouTube blew, crazy. And the fashion shock show.
All the content you were saying that 5 views. You watched
the first episode of Kiekie Unscripted that I posted in 2020 that had maybe 30K views. When the channel blew, it had over 500,000 views. Like different episodes of Fashion Shock Show. The Fashion Shock Show blew to the extent that for AMVCA, once you type AMVCA, my content on YouTube is the first one that will come up. So much that by 2021, some brands bought into the show. So I just they do the show, they go, brands they pay. So then it started happening. But if I didn't crash and hit rock bottom in 2018,
you won't go out to drawing board.
No, I will not. I will not. So I always tell people that when you're in that low moment, honestly, that's the time for you to think. Because sometimes when you have see if somebody gives you 1 billion today, so one might buy. Because there's no business you want to invest in today. But if you don't know that business, they will scam you.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's very that building stage. That's where you learn from. That building stage is very essential. So pretty much what I meant by that grace to grass, then eating the grass and then shooting back to grace.
Thank you so much.
It's a playoff.
Please, I want us to look at some of your...
I am reincarnated. I was stargating. Life goes on. I need to hug my babies.
So you're known for, your unique sense of style. Tell us about your fashion brand. Tell us about your fashion side.
Yeah.
Waiting go
Waiting the soap.
Yeah. Waiting make you sabi fashion reach the because you did try. I did look your and I'm like Kiekie. There was a time you did this video. It was like a cover for Adekunle Gold's one of Adekunle Gold's
song.
I
Yeah.
remember that day I was in Oluwadolar's house. Oluwadolarz was the one that first saw it. He was like, Kiekie, Kilo Chele, Kiekie, that music video you shoot,
Yeah.
So I'm always amazed by how much you go all out for, your content.
My content,
So,
yes.
yeah, but we're not talking about the content now. The
fashion.
fashion, yeah.
But it's the same energy all through, actually. And the energy is, one of my philosophy is, what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. If you're not going to do it well, don't do it. For fashion, I'm a very expressive person. I like to express myself. And that's when people ask me, how do you come up with what you wear to an event? Are you planning to be best dressed? No. Every time I'm stepping out to an event, I want to step out in the best version of me for that event. So, for example, Auntie Abo's premiere, the theme was Inner Warrior.
Okay.
And I was hosting. I said, okay, I'll be walking up and down. First of all, go and get gladiator sandal. Because you see, there's a place for comfort in fashion. Because comfort boosts your confidence in fashion. Yeah. The moment you're not comfortable in what you're wearing, you have lost about 40% of your confidence in that outfit. So I'm a very expressive person and my imagination is very big. So I'm telling my stylist, I said, get me a fabric that looks like sack. So that was how we got to tweed, because warriors will wear saki fabrics. Now they will now wear bante and things like that. So, okay, let the skirt have some kind of tulle effect. So that's going to be the bante part of it. And then, let's make it a bit international. In the foreign, especially all those Asian people, when they are going forward, they used to have long hair. At the end of the day, something him too, he have long hair and he's a warrior. Give me a very full and big hair. So for fashion, I'm looking for excitement. I'm looking for a standout element. What is that the one thing I'm going to throw in this outfit that will make it memorable? Every look should be memorable, especially if it's for an event. I want you to see the look and remember it for something. So pretty much what brings fashion. And then I love to dress up. Only me like this, I can wake up in my house one day and I say, okay, I need to make new combination in this closet. Okay, bring this denim, put it on these jeans, put these shoes. And I like to make my hair. I don't like to do makeup, If I have my hair, I'll do everything without makeup. But I can do my hair 5 times in a week. I love to make my hair. So I think it's just also something that is inborn. I caught it from my mom. A lot of people talk about, oh, Kiekie, you're stacking gay. Oh, the way you accessorize. My mom is such a huge inspiration in that space for me. My mama, she know the work. So I caught that part from her as well. So pretty much, and of course, I own a clothing line. I started in 2008 when I was in my 3rd year in uni. And I started with a fashion show. I called it Dress Sense. So at the time in uni, they just brought new rules and regulations. Be wearing this type of skirts, be wearing this type of shirts. Everybody started asking themselves, what are we going to wear? Like it became an issue. And a lot of my friends were asking me, so Kiekie, more fashion, what are we going to wear now? From there, I just realized that, okay, there's a problem. Then I created a collection. I tailored it. Small thing became big thing. Then I did an entire fashion show. Blessed memory, Tenyolu, she was the one that produced the fashion show for me. And I told my mom and dad, I'm doing something in school. I want you guys to come. And they're like, yeah, what are you doing? I said, we are doing a fashion program. And then they came to school. I used the biggest hall at the time, the NLT. And they were like, maybe like 2,000 students at the event. And my mom was like, I'm like, yes, it's me. I'm the one doing all these things. He said, so there's a tailor not too far from my house in Ibadan. So I bought fabrics. I took it to her. I drew all the design. I said they should make me wear a lot of backup. Oh, she's so nonsense.
Yeah, because I was going to say that.
Like, Mom,
we didn't get it.
That's crazy. So went through all of that back and forth, but eventually the fashion show happened. And that was how I started the clothing line Akos collection. And Akos meaning, and it started from the situation at the time, because in school they said, if you wear nonsense, court officer will arrest you. The way you are dressed will determine. And Akos means to approach, which means dress as how you want to be addressed. So that was how I came about the brand name. And then yeah, it is. And from that moment, I had a lot of people in school telling me, okay, yeah, make something for me, make something for me, make something for me. And then so I eventually went to London College of Fashion, where I learned pattern cutting, fashion illustration, sewing techniques, and the rest of it. So
you had it in you before even going to the London fashion school.
I had it in me.
You had it, and you said a lot of things. I was going to ask that the fashion school influenced, some things, but you've mentioned some things to show that you had an idea.
Oh yes.
In fact, not an idea. You knew fashion before you even went to school.
The school indeed polished me. Yeah. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes, the school polished me.
Okay, so who's that person, who's that content creator that you enjoy collaborating with? I know you have plenty of friends.
It's not even that. There are 2 people that I like to collaborate with, and that's Dollars and Shaggi. And I'll explain why. Dollars go. You just see the video you posted on this ago.
Yeah.
And Sydney.
Yeah, him and Sydney.
See, I know a lot of you know Dollars.
Yeah.
But Dollars go. It's so daft. I shot a contest with Dollars. I caught him cheating. He said, baby, you have catch me. What will we now do now? And then he has this crazy expression.
Yeah, he has this clueless expressionless.
Yeah.
Which is really funny.
That one that he pinned on his page, when the Keke driver said, try me, and I said, you should try us. Me and you, like.
Oh, only you.
And then there was another. See, I know. I don't think that Dollars is a friend or a colleague. I'm actually a fan of his work. I know like 68 content of Dollars. There's another one where it says POV when you stay too long in your parents' house. The mama don't enter the room, so bed I might change the leg. Then you cut it. Oh my God. Then you see the way I sync with Shaggy. We'll be shooting skit like this. It's not in the script. And I say, now Kiekie, the Kiekie of the Kiekie of the fallopian tube, it is spoiled. Money, yes. Because when the intestine and we are going on and it is crazy. No, Shaggy is a lunatic. That's in the skit space.
Yeah, in the skit space.
You know we now have all this quick viral content. That would be Oluwadolarz and
Harmony.
Harmony together.
Okay.
Then Folagade.
Oh yes. You've done lots of stuff.
If I catch a foolish idea, the first person I want to call to do it with is Fola.
Yeah.
But all those our exercise video.
Yeah.
Any. Yes. And I've done a couple of TikTok collaborations with Any as well. So these are the guys I like to collaborate with.
That's amazing. Now this one I want to ask. It's a funny question.
I'm suspecting you.
It's still on collaboration. Is there any collaboration that you regret?
No.
And why?
I would not do it. Yeah. You know, a lot of people don't necessarily align with me because of these things. They'll say, oh, I called her, she didn't. So, I'm open-minded with everybody. But you need to know that this is a workspace. I like you. If I'm doing birthday, I will call you. If you are doing birthday, call me, I will come. But we can't shoot together. You can't. There's some people that believe that I don't want to collaborate with them. And it's because our contents don't align. If your content is explicit, if you're doing all of the booty and the boobies, it's not going to work with me. Because my brand is family oriented. I have children watching my content. I hosted an event last year, Sky Girls in Ikeja, and I was like, they were all teenagers, and I was like, how is this event gonna be? Let's go and see. Bruh. When I entered that park in Ikeja, it placed tear. And I was like, okay. And they were telling me, oh, Mama, this content, this video. So, and in that moment, I went back again to go and check my what's that thing called now? My stats on TikTok and on Instagram. And I realized that I have over 20% of my followers as teenagers. That is a huge number. So if your content is explicit, if you are too, 18 plus, I won't be able to do it. So I've not done any content that I regret because I will not get there. You won't find me on that set. And I'll not be able, and I will not tell that I'm coming and I won't come. I'll just tell from the beginning that I'm not coming. That's it.
Okay. As content creators, actors, musicians, and all of that, beyond the craft, the craft is what brings us into limelight, you know. So some of us don't plan to be celebrities, but because of what we do, it puts us out there. So we become in everybody's faces and all and that. Now, you have been able to keep your private life private. Now only way you want to make me see, now every day see about your family. How have you been able to balance that? Because people snoop a lot. They want to know what is going on inside of this celebrity. Beyond the content that we see. We want to know what. And you're one of those few people. I think Shaggy as well is one. You don't know any other thing other than his craft. About him. How have you been able to, do that?
It's crazy how I had this interview with, I think, Pauls, and they wanted to play a game. Frequently, I Googled questions about Kiekie, and one of it is Kiekie still married? I'm like, that's my frequently Googled question. Am I still married?
Did you get?
Can't you see? You know that TikTok song?
Yeah.
Down, down. So this is how I say it. It's not hiding, like some people will say, oh, you're hiding it's not hiding. Do you realize that I see my family like my nude? I don't feel the need to share it. people see the need to share it. That's okay. Maybe they don't see it like their own need, or maybe they are comfortable sharing their need.
It's fine.
Different things work for different people. Now, for me, I said something in an interview. I said, it's my husband's birthday. We are in the same house, on the same bed. Happy birthday, baby. The baby didn't dare Instagram. I'll now go and witch him there. What's the reason of the witches?
Why?
Koniri now. Like, it just, I don't know. Like, it was my dad's birthday a couple of days ago. He clocked 70. And we went to do like a surprise for him. And one of my friends said, you didn't even post on your story. The moment I went to bond with my daddy, like a moment for my daddy.
Yeah.
What concern you? Concern we are still going to have the biggest ceremony where I'm going to invite my friends and we'll post that one. But it was a family. It was just me and my siblings. We're talking about growing up. We're talking about my dad, the things he did for us. Why must it
go out there?
So the thing is, it's not as if it cannot go out, but it is the must. Why must? It can, but we are making it sound like a must.
It's a must.
It is not a must. And that's how I say. And you know, I feel like my work already puts me out there. I deserve to have a personal life.
Of course. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what you that ask me about my husband. I don't know what your husband and your daddy looks like. Why must you know my own? So it is the most precious thing. You know the way people gatekeep in business, or when they have an idea. This is the most precious thing in my life. My parents, my siblings, my child, my husband. Somebody said something. Somebody say, this Kiekie will divorce and remarry and nobody will know. God forbid bad thing.
What's their business?
Good thing, but that's what is going to happen actually. Like I just don't feel the need for it. And for those that do it, sometimes I find it cute. I'm like, oh, cute. Because if they're happy doing it.
I know some people that, you would, maybe for some reason you're busy and then you call them on like their birthdays and they still come back to you and say, Alpha, you didn't post it. And I'm like,
listen, the first day somebody said that to me, I almost lost it. It became a very heated argument. I was so pissed.
Because
I called you on the phone. I sent you birthday wishes on WhatsApp. You said I didn't post you. So who? God Jesus. My concept of posting online is for people to see it because it is for them.
Of course.
The witches is not for them.
That's what
the birthday witches is for you.
I get. Okay, so
oversharing is the social media pandemic. And people talking about posted a video about that. People really need to watch it. People overshare. Too much. It's ridiculous. I've seen people create content. There was this situation on TikTok where this girl made a video with her husband and his private part showed mistakenly. And it took people maybe a whole 2 days of people constantly attacking her before she brought it down. Because the video had already had millions of views. I'm like, are you crazy?
Is more important to you,
bro. And I'm like, they don't need to test. Okay, you have mistakenly posted and you've seen it. What file straight? It's crazy.
You've had lots of brand deals, gigs, influencing, and all of that. Have you ever had the reason to turn down brands, and why?
Oh yes. I've turned down a couple of brands. I know most people would tell you, for me, it's always about regard. I'm very particular about relationship. We go on my Instagram now, you can literally count the number of brands I've worked with in the last 2 years, and that's very intentional. I've been constantly literally working with Golden Penny, literally working with Pepsi, literally working with Hollandia, with Montana, with Nivea. I don't dump brands because I feel like influencing is community building. And in that community, the only thing you're building is trust. There's no amount of money you can pay me today. A product that I know that if they use it cannot do it. Nothing you want to tell me, I can't tell my followers that it will do it. And there's no product I'm selling to my followers that I am not personally using. So if you now come and tell me that, I use this product and it didn't work, I'll say, I'm sorry about your experience, but I use it and it works, and I have testimonies of others, and I'll be saying that genuinely, and I go to bed and sleep. But if you now think that as a brand, you have money And because of money, I should then tell lies to my community. It will not work. Another thing is regard. I have a very big problem for brands who don't have regard for people, even individuals who don't have regard. There's no amount of money or position or fame or class that gives you the authority to disrespect or disregard other people. So if you come at me and they are talking that rude, I don't want to know the MD of the company you are or the marketing manager. I'm out. There's a brand that I'd done a content for them and it was cool. Then somebody else did another content and said, oh, we like this person's direction. I said, I don't do this thing normally because I sent you a script and you approved it. Now that person's content is that person's style. This is my style. But if that's what you want, many talents on the ground, we will do it. So I reshot. We did it. Now, brief 2. I said, think about it very, very well. I'm not going to reshoot. Look at the script. Do you like the direction? They said yes. We shot it. Next thing, in the story, I'm going for an interview the next morning because I did not want to oversleep. I now set like 4 alarms and I slept in the sitting room so that I would not sleep in the comfort of my bed and wake up early. They say it's not realistic that I slept in the sitting room. So therefore, I have to reshoot the content. I said, no, that I'm not going to reshoot because in a scenario where I don't want to oversleep and I'm sleeping in the sitting room, it is very intentional. And the guy just said, no, we are the one paying you. I said, oh. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to reshoot and I am not posting this video again. And they went back and said, okay, you know what? Let's post it like that. I said, no, I'm not going to repost it. And then someone said to me, do you know these brands? I don't want a situation whereby they won't come back to you again. I said, I don't want to work with this brand again. So they thought it was a joke. The entire situation went by. I didn't post it, and that was it. Give it like a year later, this brand comes back to say they are doing one activation. I said, I said I'm not working with. So they now come and say, we thought you were joking. Oh, we thought you were upset then. Upset then? No, I'm not going to work with this brand again, and that's it. I'm a very ambitious person, but I'm not desperate. Like I said before, I have a very big dream. A lot of things. Unscripted costed me millions and we are into production. Yes. It costed me crazy millions of naira. That's that I'm looking for money. I need money. But the money that will carry away my peace of mind, my sanity, and the respect I have for myself, I don't want it.
Guys, I've learned something from this. Stand on principle.
Stand on it too.
That's it. Stand on business.
Stand on it too. Because that common saying, if you don't stand for anything, you would naturally fall for everything.
Actually.
So what is that? And then at this point, I've spent 13 years building my brand. Baba. Person with them born when I started content creation. You want to write junior YX now?
Now it did just 3.
Baba. Please So you can't come and tell me what is not. At this, I've been sincere, and I'm a very realistic person with my approach, and I'm very sincere, and I'm blessed enough to have people in my space that tells me the truth. My sister, number 1. That's how I was a Kiekie.
I remember one issue like that he told me about.
My sister. She just said my DM. This your caption is giving, edit it. Whatever, kilo share, and then because. Let me tell you one story that taught me how to align in life. 2 of them. I told you before that in my house, when you graduate with the first class, you get a brand new car. Or 2-1, minimum of 2-1. So I had 2-1 born university mass com. My daddy said, so what car do you want? I said, I want a Mercedes-Benz GLK. My daddy laughed. He said, you want Benz? He said, can you afford to service the car? Because at the time I was just 19. He said, okay, we'll buy you the GLK today. Now, can you afford to fuel it? Okay, full tank. Because at the time, NYC was going to pay us 8,500. Full tank of that car, that would be like 30,000. So that is like a car you cannot fuel. Why do you want it? He said, go and look for another car. I wasn't happy. But I looked for another car. Then they bought the car. And then they still rubber again, so I'm happy. In 2020, when I clocked 30, then I bought myself a Mercedes. My dad now told me, he said, now you are buying yourself a Mercedes that you can buy yourself, maintain yourself, and fuel yourself. Now that is life. Make it part 1. When I now bought that same car, and out of that, I said that day I bought my car. It's a GLE. When I come to Lagos, come and see my car. What's this? So we're plane. Can you say Kuwa wo Benz? He say, oh, see ring back to Motin wa Benz. Kilo she, kilora. He say, oh, so this is how you will become your friends. You bought Benz. What's Benz? So the Benz now is your brain. I mean, it's a little. It's a little talk. But in that moment, I realized that what you own is not what makes you. What really makes you is what's here. And what you can do with that. Yeah. And in that particular moment, I realized that the things I did, the work that I'd done, that gave me the money, that put me in a place that I was able to afford that car, is the achievement, not the car. Because now, car goes the baburu. But what you own takes you, it's a progression. It takes you to the next level. So pretty much that's how I operate.
Okay, so my next question, I feel like you've answered some of it.
Okay.
You know, and I feel like I know. For instance, the question is, what stands you out as a brand? So when they ask me, I know the things I will say. Yeah, but having you here now, I'd like to hear from you yourself. What stands you out as a brand?
You tell me your own face.
You tell me.
Okay, so basically the main thing that stands me out as a brand is I am super authentic and very genuine. As you can see me here without makeup. When I started creating content, I said to myself that it needs to be what you see is what you get, both online and offline. And even though I didn't necessarily understand what I was doing while I was making that decision, but it's helped my brand grow even outside social media. And I keep referring to every time I have to host events and do outdoor gigs. There was this one time I went to Port Harcourt for a gig. They had booked me to host a concert, Light Up Port Harcourt. And I was like, Port Harcourt, who know my daddy in Port Harcourt? Tobi. When I climbed that stage, I was like, goodness. And it's that thing with my voice I've been telling you.
Yes.
The way I sound online is the way I sound offline. So it's registered to people's head. I'd gone to market for activation. Okay, once I go, oh, Kiekie Oshodi. It's like there was this activation I did in Oshodi for a brand. And the moment before I went on stage, there were like maybe like 30 people in front of that place. I was like, what is brand? My first activation, people will not do your groundwork. You want to come and give me work. Really, I climbed that stage. Reach 15 minutes. And so is that being unique?
Yes.
Being authentic,
Yes.
being genuine.
Yes.
There's this, it gives your brand longevity. People just know. In film, you can't pretend. The roles will bring out your natural state.
Yes.
Without makeup, without hair, in shabby clothes, in nice clothes. So it gives actors, it makes them bigger as brands.
Yes.
But in content creation, because a lot of things is scripted according to you, whatever it is that you're doing. Do you know that I have in my head now a couple of people that I have never seen their face without makeup before, and they've been in the industry for over 10 years.
Actually.
And I'm like, how do you guys even do that? So imagine when they now have to function on brands without makeup, there's a problem. And that is limiting. So I feel like that's what stands me out. And me just being me. And that's very unique to everybody, not just me.
I
Your
agree
turn.
with you. I agree with you.
That sounds like not like your turn.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Because your authenticity makes you create very relatable content. Like I said, I was telling you earlier about the gatesman,
The security.
The security content that you did. I'm always having those issues with, security men asking for code and acting like they are God just because I want to enter a state.
We got pack first. Pack first.
So you see the one you did, about sleeping at night and then seeing a cloth that you hung.
Yes.
I can relate to it. Even if it's not now, maybe when I was younger. There are so many things that the prayer, the different type of prayers. And I am also an actor. So I see these things and I'm like, these are things we laugh at. These are things we, we'll talk about and just laugh. And you're you're doing it as content and giving us, and we are enjoying it because we can relate. And yeah, and to be honest, I also learned something, from what you said earlier. Me, in terms of content creation, I don't know. I want to create content, but I'm an overthinker, and it's because of my filmmaking background. If it's not perfect, if the shot is not, if it's not this, if it's not that, so that really cramps my style in terms of. So I can think of an idea, but if no be black magic, go shoot them. But you said something, that I've learned from that content is hot. It has hot effect. There was one time when the Naira and dollar thing was going on. I had a content. My DOP, you remember, I wrote the script, I sent it to him, and I'm like, we need to shoot this now. But guess what? Because I didn't have money to collect all the equipment I wanted, the gimbal, I wanted to run on Aja Bridge. I wanted to really do it proper. I didn't shoot that content.
Something you shot with phone.
And then at the end of the day, that period passed and the content was no longer relevant. It paid me. And that content, if I had dropped it at that time when the dollar and Naira thing was going on, it would have been perfect. So I learned from you now that, as the hot effect, once it comes to your head, shoot it. Once it comes to your head, shoot it. So yeah, your authenticity, that's what makes you stand out.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Okay.
Thank you, Egba.
Now, I want you to tell us something. I feel like we probably know everything about Kiekie, but I want you to, on the Makinde show, tell us or tell the people something they don't know about you, something that they don't know, something that they've never heard or seen before about you.
I am very, very, very slow to anger. I'm very slow to anger. And the embarrassing part of that is when I now reach the anger.
You know this stuff.
See, I'm slow to anger, Tobi. You've experienced
I
me.
know,
Yes.
I know.
I'm slow to anger in the way that it will anger another person. Yeah. Oh, because of my personality, because you know that I have the energy, you know, I have the words.
So you naturally think that.
But I'm very slow to anger. But what I've also come to learn about that and realize about that is everybody around me is not looking at that. But so, but and at the back of my mind, I'll not be thinking that. What do you really think is the boss that I will do? But I've learned that people that work closely with me, they're like, Mike, Mama, go. But me, I'll be thinking my team hard working. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's just there's not really much to me outside behind the cameras, and that's because, like I've said to you, when I was going to give myself into my content, I said that we need to keep it original and genuine because this is something that I plan to do for a very long time.
Yes.
I cannot be inconsistent in my life. Today I cannot be this person, and tomorrow I'll not be that person again. So
true. And you know what she said is actually true. She's very slow to anger. There can be chaos like this. There can be tension like this. And Kiekie is just on her phone.
I don't like shouting.
And it's not like she's on Instagram watching other people's content. It's game, or she's on her own page watching her own videos. If she's on Instagram for 3-4 hours, 3 hours now, her own page. She did.
I'm on my page for 2 hours, 30 minutes.
Yes.
But that's why I always say to content creators that you need to put yourself in the mind of your audience. If you're not enjoying your content, why should other people enjoy it? And it's the same energy for adverts as well. For me, when brand saying you need to the advert needs to be engaging. It needs to be interesting. If it's not interesting, I don't want to post it. Because I must be able to watch it myself over and over. Sometimes when I feel blocked, when I have my creative block, I go to my page. I spend 2 hours there. I start writing from my own page. Because then I begin to see my strengths. I begin to see how I can be funny. I begin to see the things that I did that was great, and try to create new ideas of that. Yes. Then I don't like shouting. I'm a very big believer of communication. I like people to communicate. But one of my weaknesses in this life is that only if you're not bad in your gear, so much that I will look at you till you become transparent. You will not be looking bad. You will not exist again. Yeah. I'll just tune out.
Blank out.
Because as an adult, it is on you to be responsible. It is on you to communicate. It is on you to relate. You have this duty to be able to coexist with other people peacefully. If you're unable to do that, it's not me who will born you. I will not teach you. If I'm not emotionally invested in you, you're an adult, so sort yourself out. So if I don't like civil people. Is why go to the beginning of social media till the end of social media. You can never see me fighting anyway. When I started building a huge fan base, and I'll see some of my fans going to go and be bad, maybe when they blog post something they don't like, I will DM the fan. No, I know you love me and I respect that, but delete that comment. In fact, my fans, they have a WhatsApp group. There was a day I added my second number to the group just to say, amazing guys, I like what you're doing here. But I know you have created the fan page in my support, even though I'm not the president of the group. But since you are running the group in my name, these are my rules. Only one, don't fight, don't curse, don't abuse. If they have posted something about your fanship you don't like, mute the page or block the page and move forward. When you see where they post nice thing about me, go and be nice there. And it's the same energy on my page as well. And I always say to people, I posted video don't get 5,000 comments. 4,980 is good comments. So the 20 comments is the issue. Oh yeah, I will arrange them. Block. The people that are blocked online, if I can use it to build house, who is okay? I don't do mansion. You only have one shot at me. Once you bring your bad energy once,
that's it.
Block. And I'm not going to be that person who would only respond to negative. I don't respond to negative comments. I only go to my page. I only respond to negative comments. It's a positive comment. That's what I want. Because in person, in real life, I'm a ball of energy. I'm positive all the time. Don't bring, if you see my child, you can see the true reflection of my personality in my child. Actually. So don't come and they can't do my kora or fokiri. Stay away from me. Please. Just go away.
Okay, so as an entertainer, I'm aware. I know that there are weird moments. It could be it could be on set, it could be with fans. What would you say is your weirdest moment as an entertainer? Something that has happened, most bizarre, like it just happened and you were like,
my weirdest moment was when they were going to rob me at an event. So I went to host an event. I said, I'm going to my car. Then it was an outdoor event. No fans will not be running.
Yes.
Before I did not used to move with security. I didn't think that. I felt like it was extra paparazzi. Me, we are fine. It's fan love. Baba, I say criminal, fan. Only one. I say, wow. As we were moving to the car, movement, someone just dragged me. I thought maybe the person want to
pictures or something.
He grabbed my touring followed the person. As my touring followed, I cough and I had a bouncer. I say, you wanna take my ring? See, 2 of my nails broke.
Hi.
Women can relate to it. For like 4 days, I was having a dick. He want to remove. I held on to the ring with everything dear to me. I said, if I should go the other one, the guy just started running. So they were trying to chase me. I said, let them just leave me alone. So it was in that moment that I realized. In fact, there's some events now that once you want to exit, you have to dress down. Remove all your jewelry.
Everything out.
Now that's like, I'm like, for real? Like, okay, I went to experiences though. There was also another event that I went to that they wanted to cut my chain. But the guy, he held my neck for the chain. Chain, my gas him. Baba, me my gas chain you. Wash it. Help me.
For real?
Tobi, I didn't want to have because it was a very thick,
like a choker.
Yeah, it was a thick Cuban chain sort of, but it choker. And me want you chain you know. Hey God, I Yes, those are those two moments. Yeah,
that's weird. Actually.
Those 2 moments, I was like, nah, it's crazy.
Okay, so,
and then that moment, that moment that I will go to a Eko normally now to go and buy materials for my shop.
Yeah.
The money I spent is more than the money I carry. And let me see, guys.
I was saying.
Dear colleague goes, let me tell you something. Sharon will talk. Let me tell you one secret. If there are 100, I want to tell you today that only 10 of them know you.
Actually, I'm on.
Once they say Kiekie, Kiekie, a máa wo fíìmù ẹ, àwa là ń gbọ́ orin. Oh, èmi
No,
orin.
they have even tested them before, kí lorúkọ fíìmù? Àbáwo.
Kí lorúkọ ẹ? These people. There was one content I shot in Isale Code. I said how to carry your bag in Eko. Me too. That's why I say as the hot come. I'm very spontaneous with content.
Yeah.
That's how we go Eko. My staff that year, I had fake gun that we're going to use to shoot the content. I said once we get, so just quick please, go there, go and mark where I'm going to stand. So I'll just walk from the car. I'd already withdrawn 200K. We just walk from the car, shoot it, go back. Tobi, would you believe when we arrived the spot, where's the gun? The gun is in the car. And there's no way that content will slap without the gun. Now I've fully advertised myself that I'm in Eko. So that's the way all of us trek to the place. We had to move back to the car. We had to
pick the gun and then do it again.
I spent over 500K in that Eko that day. Only me carry myself to Bali in this to go and do that dance on the bus. I want it more with my jolo. But tó bá bọ́lẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ yẹn Kiekie tó bá bọ́lẹ̀ wá àwa làwa wo gbogbo TikTok àwa làwa wẹ̀ TikTok kéré mo pé o bàbá hey no it's crazy nah it's crazy those moments too the learning that the fame takes away your freedom to move as you like for me is quite tiring. It's quite tiring.
It is. Okay, so we'll come to the end of the show, but before you go, before we release you, we want you to, inspire upcomers, people looking up to you, your fans. It was like a mini TED Talk, something like what you did for Forbes, Inspire us.
That one will be mean, that one a big job.
I know, right?
Well, so this is what I would always say. You really need to be patient with yourself. It took me 7 years. Does not mean it will take you 7 years. I mean, look at Eli Wasabi. Eli probably was still in school by the time they started peaking.
Yes.
And I've known Folakade Banks. He had done his content for a couple of years before he's where he is today. So be patient with yourself. And in all, don't lose yourself. Enjoy all you must today, but don't unnecessarily commit your future. Don't go and do something that tomorrow now you'll be asking yourself that, why did I? So stay committed to the craft. It's going to look crazy, but you need to understand that you're trying to do something big. And for every big thing you're trying to achieve comes a big sacrifice that needs to be made. So just stay focused, put in all the energy, and it's going to happen for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kiekie! Thank you so much for coming.
It's a player. So, this is my question for you. I know you've done a couple of things. You've done film, now you direct, and you create content as well. But when are you going to get married?
Don't worry, you get the invite.
Okay,
but very soon.
We'll take our Shebi.
No wala. You'll be at the wedding. Get to the act to the Kiekie. Get to the act to the Kiekie. All right, thank you so much.
Tobi Makinde Show, we do it the nicest. Yeah, you get entertainment at its finest.